go! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! Do it now! This is Rasslin Rage! Scream it out loud! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! Do it now! This is Rasslin Rage! Scream it out loud! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Hey everybody, it's Cody here from Rasslin Rage and MIW, and I am joined by none other than Weaponized Alex Weir. Got to make some quick adjustments to the screen here, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. Before I do that, please make sure to smash the thumbs up if you haven't done that already. Also, make sure that you subscribe, because, you know, if you subscribe, or what, did I already tell him to subscribe? No, I didn't. No, go ahead, do the thumbs up, and then you also want to hit the bell. And the reason why you want to hit the bell is because you want to be notified when interviews and matches or Rasslin Rage or MIW goes live, because, you know, it's a cool thing to do, right? Absolutely, you know, because if you didn't know this, and I'm going to tell you this anyways, and it is the absolute truth, and if you don't like it, I'll fight you. Not really, though. However, Michigan Independent Weekly and Rasslin Rage is, in fact, the #1 source for Michigan independent wrestling action and information for everything that you would like to know, to go to events, to know the results, to know who's facing who, and who hates who, because there's a lot of that going on nowadays. Absolutely. I don't know why, but there is. But, my man, what's crack-a-lackin'? How you doing today?
Sore.
I would imagine so, considering you guys had many matches yesterday, and then you were in action as well on Saturday, as I'm not mistaken, over there at Metro Pro Wrestling. So yeah, a little sore. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that went on here yesterday at Proving Ground, Wrestling with a Vet, semifinals and finals. A lot of us didn't know we were going to get the finals. Pre-COVID or whatever, when the show was originally booked for the return or the homecoming, whatever we're calling it, we only thought we were going to get the semifinals. Well, things came out that the state changed or whatever they did, and so based upon how many ticket sales were already sold, XICW had to create 2 shows, and then we found out we were going to get a semifinal and a final. Well, what was that like for you to figure that, find out about that?
Kind of relieved.
Yeah, wanted to get it over with?
Yeah, it's had to be one of the longest competitions because of how much there was a break. I think we started this last year, I think is when we started.
Yeah, absolutely.
The show after Crowfoot.
Like when I talked to DBA the other day, and we did an interview, him and I think he was saying that according to his timeline, we would almost be at the end of the next season right now at season 8.
Yeah, that's crazy. And see, that's what's crazy. Like, I think it was the show, like the night after Crowfoot is when we started. Is either that one or was the show after we started Wrestling with a Vet. Because that's why me and Adam paired together.
Okay.
Of course, everybody knows that's a full shoot. We don't really know who's our partners at the end of the day. It just worked out really well like that with everything going on to where Adam was in the opportunity to choose me as his vet.
Right, absolutely. We have been waiting for this, the fans anyways, and I'm sure you guys were sitting at the edge of your seat, and like at every house party I'm going, why are we not finishing up Proving Ground at house party? Why are we not doing that? And I mean, I guess he wanted to save it for the homecoming, and I understand that. I can totally understand. There's a wrestling aura at the Hot Rocks, formerly known as the Ritz, that a lot of people that maybe aren't involved too much in indie wrestling, or maybe just getting involved in indie wrestling, because there's a lot of that going on right now where a lot of people are starting to come to indie shows, then they don't know that the Ritz, formerly the Ritz, the Hot Rocks, is cemented in forever in independent wrestling here in the state. There's been a lot of big names that have rolled through that place, and you're one of those guys that are part of that history now. What do you know about the Ritz and its history as far as, not only Proving Ground and Wrestling with a Vet, but, XICW and wrestling in general?
I mean, I've known about the Ritz. I knew it was actually Hot Rocks before, then it was the Ritz, and now it's back to Hot Rocks. So it's definitely gone through some name changes. And of course, XI has been running there forever. Sweet Daddy, Malcolm Monroe started running there. I mean, you can count the endless names who have wrestled on XI have wrestled at Hot Rocks and the Ritz. Like, I'll go to shows in Ohio, Toronto, and I'll say I work for XI, and they're like, "Oh, the Hot Rocks," and I'm like, "Yep, we're still there." And so it's one of those like cemented play. It's always funny. It's because like it's not the most like biggest venue, right?
Right.
It's not a packed house. Like when it is packed, it's not 1,000 people. It's maybe 200 to 300 pre-COVID.
Right.
But when it's packed, it's just a different vibe. Like being back there yesterday was like definitely sentimental for me when I went for like setup, because it really felt like we were back home.
Yeah, absolutely. And it did. It was great as a fan as well to be back there, back in my little corner there where I'm at. And it was awesome to see it all come together. The one thing that I did notice, though, as far as, being back is, with the masks, right? Yelling and screaming is a sweaty ordeal when you're a fan, when you have a mask on. That kind of sucked, and I think that kind of took away from the crowd a little bit because of that. What's that?
So the crowd was tired. But we never blame it like that. Like I was talking to Tommy after his match, and I was like, "Hey man, the crowd was just tired." Like, because like we done 2 shows. Half of the fans were there since the first show, and then all of us were. I was exhausted when it got to time for Wrestling with the Vet finals. I was like, I don't know if I can do half the stuff I'm supposed to do in this match. We're gonna see. So I don't blame the crowd. Like wearing that mask the whole time had to be rough. That's what I would have cheated and probably ordered food and then taken my mask off the whole time.
What do you think I was doing? Why do you think I had a good buzz going?
Yeah, you just set the pizza there and then you just don't eat it, but you take your mask off. And
boy, I had a good buzz, boy. Let me tell you, man.
I know you did. I know you did.
It was a good time though, bro. It's always a good time at XICW. So let's go back a little bit because, obviously we're going to talk about the big win and, maybe some of the events that happened afterwards, but let's talk about our last interview. The last time I had you on here was shortly thereafter. You had a match with Jack Price and you were going to have a rematch for the XICW Lightweight Championship. And you were in a rough spot. This is
actually non-alcoholic, just so everybody knows.
Right, all right.
Sam's Cola.
Okay, all right.
We're not at the same place.
Right, yeah. So you were in a little bit of a rough spot. You were having issues about the title, and there was some things there going on between you and Jack Price. And then the rematch happened, and we all had it pegged as, even you had it pegged as, is that you were going to get your beat down from whatever they were calling themselves at that time. And that didn't happen. You were invited in to the new formation of the War Inc. Kira Clan merger, I guess you could say. Yeah. And that happened. And then you were also booked in the match to go against your former brothers in the DTA with War Inc. / Kira Clan. And then you turned on War Inc. / Kira Clan, whatever they were being called. Yeah. And at the end, you super kicked your rookie, Adam Wick, and there was a lot of question of how this was going to go down as far as Proving Ground coming back. And were you two going to be a cohesive team? So let's talk about all of that. Let's talk about you leaving, going back, all of that. Let's hear what's going on here.
So a lot of behind the scenes, because there's a lot of stuff happened, people didn't see. Um, everybody saw, like, after the rematch with Jack Price. You know, I thought I was done. Thought they were gonna kick me out of the clan. I was on my own, but they invited me in, which kind of made me feel good. But I was just kind of like, at that point, like, it wasn't like, if they would have called it Kira Clan, maybe things would have been different. But it was that they called it War Inc. that
Right.
kind of struck a nerve with me. And it was like they hadn't talked to me at all. You know, they saw the interview with you. Nobody, Johnny, three, uh, you really only Adam was the only one who was just like, hey man, get your head in the game, get that title back.
Right.
But nobody else kind of reached out. It was like, hey man, you doing okay? Like, kind of seemed down. They like, that was the first time I had talked to them. Like, I went out alone again against my radar Jack Price. No Johnny Delicious, none of them. And it's just kind of one of those things, like, all right, whatever. Like, and then War Games happens. And, I'm out there and I'm thinking, everything's like good. We're gonna put DTA in the ground. Like, I'm gonna kill the past. Like, they're gonna go, let the past die. Gone, right? And so I get in the ring. I get in there. I start beating up Tommy. Tommy starts beating up me. We're beating up everybody. But it wasn't until Aaron came out that things kind of changed. Aaron came out. I didn't know Aaron was going to be there. We had the plan of TJ coming out as the DTA last spot, and he was going to get in the ring. We were going to end it. But Aaron showed up, and, throughout the match, everything was fine until it got to that critical moment where Three's holding Aaron, and I'm back at Crowfoot, it feels like. No, yeah, Crowfoot.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't just I was back at Crowfoot. It was like everything stopped. Time stopped. And I remembered who was checking up on me. Jack, make sure I was okay. All the DTA guys, still inviting me to live streams and stuff like that. And remembering the first time I ever met Aaron. And then when he had brought me into the death threat, like, talking to me about it and taking time to really integrate me in. And then, I look down and Jack Price is holding my foot, and I see that, like, his eyes, and just in that moment, I remember, like, he was the first one who ever gave me a really good singles match the first time. He taught me so much. And I'm looking, I see Tommy and Isaiah, two people I remember talking to Aaron and Jack about bringing into Death Threat Army, like how they did to me.
Right.
And in that moment, time sped up, and then Three was standing in front of me. And I looked at Three, and I looked at Dre, and I looked at everybody in the clan, and I was like, this isn't where I belong. This isn't where I need to be. Like, I'm not this. I'm not War Inc. I'm Death Threat. That's who I am. That's what created me, and that's what I represent. Like, I worked my ass off to build the DTA brand with Aaron and Jack. Like, everywhere I went, I represented that DTA, to get that DTA chant every single place I went. And to throw that all away, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so in that moment, I turned and I kicked Three, and I looked at Adam, and I gave him the chance to walk away, stand with me, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And so it was a very split-second decision, but he was coming at me, and I had to kick him, and then we won the match. I tried to talk to Adam a lot, and he ignored me. And we went out there to do, like, I finally caught up to him, and he blew me off, and then we caught up at Proving Ground, and I was like, hey, we got this triple threat match, we got to get together, we got to get it, we want to win, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, then we got to get it together. Of course, then he walked away. I didn't know he was coming out till I was in the ring. Like you saw, I came out that first match, I came out alone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm in the ring, I turn around, he's behind me. I'm like, all right, so he's here. I was trying to help him in the brawl at the beginning, because that's when I jumped in, when Dre jumped on him. Adam's my brother no matter what, and I'm going to stop that. And then, even during that match, me and Adam had a little spat that turned into a double team, so good on us. But
Right.
then we went in the back after that, after we had, announced the finals, and I was like, hey, we have to be a unit, right? We want to win this. They've got a huge crowd reaction. We have to win our team dynamic. We got to get it together. And so, he agreed, and we went out there and we did what we did.
Right, absolutely. And hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have you guys pick to win. I love you like a brother, and you know that. But at the same time, I'm going with what I'm saying. And so no love lost there. You know what I'm saying? It's wrestling. And some people get that, other people's don't. You know that. But I really did have Dre Jacobs and TJ Meyer pegged as the winners.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Dre Jacobs suffered injury, and we do hope that Dre Jacobs is on a path to recovery and returns very, very shortly. And we're definitely looking forward to that, to him coming back. But you go on to the finals of Proving Ground to face Shogun Jackson Stone, Impact Wrestling star, along with his not-so-rookie Sean Tyler. Guy's been around for like 12 years. But the rules are, if you're not a regular at XICW, you're a rookie. So in the eyes of the judges, he was a rookie and was entered into Proving Ground as a rookie. Now, let's talk a little bit about this finals match now, because neither of those guys are slouches in the industry, number one. Number two, obviously Shogun's doing something right to get the look of Impact Wrestling and to eventually win Gut Check and move on to get a contract with Impact Wrestling, and man, dude, talk about transition for that guy as well, because we're talking, that guy was in the 300-pound range and he's lost a bunch of weight and he's just putting on some muscle mass.
I was actually talking to Johnny Bravo in the back. I don't know if you guys saw, but Johnny Bravo was actually one of the judges, which made it even harder to go against Jackson in the finals. So I'm like, oh man,
right.
Oh man. And he was talking to me because he always says the same thing to me. And then when I was like, he used to, and then I got a little bit, bigger, but he always used to tell me, hey, get in the gym. Get in the gym. Like you have everything you need. You just need a better physique. And he was like, hey, you need to get back in the gym. I know COVID killed it. And he was like, I know COVID killed everybody, but Jackson Stone. Because Jackson was like right there. He's like, for some reason, it's the only one he's held. He's been killing it. But yeah, his physique is phenomenal.
Well, I mean, he works out like a crazy man too. So, I mean, and he's got all the stuff to do that. So you go into this finals match. When you're announced as moving on to the finals, what's going through your head right now?
God, what the fuck? What? I literally walked over to Adam as they're getting ready to tally up the scores, and I was like, hey, man, we lost. Like, let's accept it. We didn't get it. We lost. All right. And then like 92, and then like Dre and TJ 86. And I was like, what? Like, are you? And then it was like the winner is like Sean, and I was like, DBA, what's going on? Like, was this the finals? Because this was the final. Redo, ring the bell again.
Redo.
But then DBA, the announcer didn't know what was going on. So then we get announced. It was like, first thing in my mind is like, I got to pull Adam aside. We got to squash this. We got to get this going. We have to win this. And so, we did. We came out as a unit. We decided we were going to put our feelings aside to come out and win this Proving Ground, because it meant so much to both of us.
Right. And it seems like you guys did that, because although you didn't win the match, you won the overall competition and were crowned. Which, by the way, they didn't give you your fucking trophies, did they?
I know. No, I didn't get a trophy.
What the fuck?
Mostly, I think because they couldn't really find both of us to do a little picture with the trophy. Because,
Right, yeah. We'll talk about that in a second, but I don't even think they had the trophies. I don't think we were prepared for. We didn't know that we were going to have that happen.
Yeah, I think it was because it was a last minute call. He was scheduled to have him for December 6th, so I'm sure I'll get him December 6th.
Right, absolutely.
Little ceremony thing. That'd be kind of cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably just be me.
Kind of cute. It'd be kind of cute.
And you better hope it's just me in the ring, because if somebody else comes to that ring, it's not going to be pretty.
Right. So let's talk about it. You give this big heartfelt speech, right, about how and we talked about it a little bit in our last interview, how you were ready to quit, and you were done. You were done. I wouldn't say quit. You were retiring. You were kind of hanging your boots up for now, and it was over because you had lost your passion, I guess you could say. And I'm not trying to offend you in any way, but
I agree.
you lost your passion. You couldn't find joy in what you were doing anymore, and it was
Like
really
I said, everybody, I hated wrestling, hated being around wrestling.
right.
You did it.
And you gave this big heartfelt speech, and you said, I came back because, I didn't want to fuck you over. I wanted to, do this thing and finish it out and ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys do, and then you win, and you give this long speech about it, and then, it's all said and done. You're announced the winner, and then this motherfucker hits you in the nuts.
Yep.
What the fuck is up with that? Is that his payback for the super kick, or what? What's up?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, what do you?
I
What?
don't-
I got him on. I'm coming. He's coming on here on Wednesday, right? You know that, right?
Yep.
So,
I don't know what was going through his head. I couldn't really find him after the match. But no, I thought we were good.
yeah.
I thought maybe like this was like, hey, like you don't have to be back in Death Threat, but we don't have to hate each other. Like we're
Right.
brothers. And then that happened. And see, that was kind of like, that was it. That's it for me. Like, at that point, fuck off. Like, you don't stand with me at War Games. You walk away with me when I try to talk to you. We almost get into it in the ring. And then we win Proving Ground. And then you're going to turn your back and throw away everything we worked for. For what? For what? What'd you do that for, right? You're already Proving Ground. Like, I don't know how, because usually the winners of Proving Ground fight the Proving Ground Tag Team Champions.
Right.
Which is Adam Wick and Jack Price.
Right.
So I don't know how how that's going to work with Adam being the champ.
Right.
I don't know. Do I just fight? Am I just going to fight Adam and I take his belt and then me and Jack are the tag champs?
That'd be interesting. I don't know.
Any chance to beat the shit out of Adam after what he did, but
Right.
because like it wasn't cool. Like I don't like, that's it. Like we're done. Me and Adam are done.
What a great story it is, though, when you think about it, because you're once brothers, now you're pretty much enemies.
Like, so my dick hurts. My leg, dude. My leg is throbbing. He hits me with a steel chair after he almost concusses me with his elbow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, like I said, it's a great story. You guys were once brothers. Now you were partners in Proving Ground, wrestling with a vet, and now you're squabbling. The super kick at War Games, the low blow at the finale, and it looks like, and I'm just going on a limb here. It looks like we may see a match between Alex Weir and Adam Wick in the future. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but that's the way it looks like it's
I
heading.
have no idea.
Right. I know you
have
don't.
a lot of unfinished business at XI.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Dre, but Dre's, relaxing. I would always like to smash in TJ's head. And there's the issue of 3.
There's a lot of issues
with me and 3.
Right.
I think if I can't, fight for the Proving Ground titles, I think I'm deserved a title shot. You know what I mean?
I'd agree with that.
And if 3 wants to call me a little bitch in the promo and wants to claim that he's the best in the world, then I'll already step up and prove it. And he takes on the better. I mean, how many times have me and 3 wrestled each other? And I think we're, tied for wins at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a long record I'd have to go back and look.
And we've never wrestled in an XI ring because we've always been friends. Like, we've always been cool. And now we're not. And I think that's when DBA got me.
Right. It is.
One big fat bit. I was so mad.
I don't think, to be truthfully honest with you, speaking back on MM3, I don't think MM3 has a lot of friends at all right now.
No.
In XICW, including his once, man in arms, Johnny Delicious, who basically said, fuck all you guys.
Yeah, so I think, me being strategist, I think now's the best opportunity that there is for me to come in and for me to become the new Midwest champion.
And we need a new champ. I think we really do. Tommy was fucking close yesterday, man.
He was. Tommy was close.
Oh man, so many 1, 2, 3s that should have been.
I'm gonna finish what he started.
You
I'm
should.
gonna come for 3.
I'd
I'm
like to
coming
see
for
a new
3. I'm
Midwest
coming
champ.
for that belt. I'm coming for Adam. You know, I'm coming. Maybe I'm coming for Johnny Delicious. I don't know. You know. I kicked him at War Games. I'll kick him again. But at the end of the day, like there's a lot of ways this can go.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I don't see Adam for a while. And maybe I'll wrestle 3 on the 6th for Hardcore with a Heart. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, we'll figure it out when we see the announcements. And I'm sure we're not too far away from that for sure.
Yeah.
Now, so you are, you and your rookie are the season 7 XICW Wrestling with a Vet champions. And there are a few people out there that have went on to do some great things. I do believe that Trey Miguel is a former winner of Proving Ground, who is a current Impact Wrestling star. And there's a few others out there as well that have won. Now, the old school thing to say would be you're going to Disney World, but what are your plans as far as now? Like, do you have an idea of what you're looking to do, not just in XICW, but in indie wrestling? Not in. I'm sure it's not just in the state of Michigan. I know you're going to get out there and do some other things outside of Michigan as well.
Well, if there's one thing that's for certain, Johnny Bravo was in attendance last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he saw me beat Jackson Stone in a shoot competition. And Alex Weir looks pretty good on a dotted line, if you know what I mean. So
I think
that's always the goal, is to do wrestling and not have to worry about bills anymore and do it for the rest of my life.
Right.
And what's out there is like, now I'm back full time. I'm getting back into it. I feel back to, from my first match back with Jack to last night and this
you
weekend.
definitely look a lot better, brother.
Yeah, I feel a lot getting back to, I'm still tired as shit. But I'm feeling a lot more comfortable getting back to where I was, to where I can, stand with the people that I want to stay. Trey being one of them. I always want to wrestle Trey. Every chance I get, I want to wrestle Trey. So yeah, that's kind of the goal next, is that I'll wrestle Trey. I know MPW has an 8-man tournament coming up for the MPW heavyweight title. Hopefully, maybe I'll be in that. And if I'm in that, I'm pretty good at tournaments, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot for that. And then, like I said, 3's got a title that needs to change. So
yeah, I like that. All those plans. A little bit about training, because we know you took that bit of a break, but where are you getting in the ring to do these things?
That's a good question. I've gone to the House of Truth once or twice.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm in the gym. I'm actually more in my karate school in Allen Park.
Okay.
Just getting down like the cardio of like doing forms and stuff, and getting out my martial arts skills better. I know I do need to work on my ring cardio a bit, so I do want to get more in the ring. I know I've talked to Crimson about going to Skull and Bones, so I'm just kind of wanting to travel, go to different rings, and roll around with some of the best.
Isn't that where Trey Miguel's over at too?
Just for Trey. There's Trey, Sam, Dickie, all them. That's where they all train.
That's what I thought. I thought Trey was over that way. Well, Trey's a trainer over there too, ain't he?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Well, maybe I could just roll around with it. I just would like to do something. I've never done anything with Trey Miguel.
Well, maybe we could see a new member of the Rascals.
Oh, you never know.
Wouldn't that be fucking amazing?
Dude, I do some cute stuff.
That's great stuff, man. Well, I'm really looking forward to see what happens here between you and Adam, and because there's so many different possibilities with the way this whole thing can go. And I think we were talking a little bit yesterday after the first show there for XICW, and we were talking about what I really like, the fact that we're seeing a lot of faction versus faction stuff going on. We have a large amount of factions in our state right now, and there's some new ones that are just birthed. And there's some old ones that got a lot, and I wouldn't call them old, but they got a lot of experience. And we're starting to see a lot of that happen, where these factions are going against this faction, and there's these little wars starting. And then you have factions breaking up that are causing some old friends to be not friends anymore. So there's a lot of interesting things going on right now. What exactly do you think that it's going to be a crazy time? Because we're coming out of COVID, even though there's these new regulations, but we're going to be out of this shit eventually. So, I mean, do you think things are going to get a little nuts here soon?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think
really
it's about to be a lot of wars happening.
Yeah, but it's great
God
for
of
wrestling.
War is ready.
Yeah, I think it's great for our state. I agree. I think it's great for the state of indie wrestling. I think it's just great all the way across. I always keep telling everybody that I believe that Michigan's on the cusp of this big bubble, and it's going to burst here real soon. And if either you're with us or you're just watching. So, right. All right. Well, so listen. I'm going to put all his information down into the description where you can like, follow, and subscribe because he's got a new Facebook page. He had some issues with Facebook and some security crap, so he had to get himself a new page. But we're working on getting that back to where it was. And I know you got Twitter, and I know you got Instagram. And do you have a YouTube now too?
I mean, it's just Alex Weir, so I'm sure you can find it.
So just search Alex Weir. But I'll put it right down there in the description. I know he posts his matches and shit like that. So good stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We're looking forward to see what happens, and hopefully you get those fucking trophies, man.
Hopefully.
Right.
At least for me, I want a trophy.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to like this video, share it on Facebook and all that good stuff, and then scroll down in the description to join the Michigan Independent Weekly group, as well as follow MIW, Rasslin Rage, and all that stuff all across social media. And we also have a Podbean where you can listen to all the audio content, and you ain't got to look at my face because, I know nobody wants to look at my face, especially Danny's face. Danny's a whole lot uglier than I am. But all right, guys, have a great one, and we'll see you on Tuesday for MIW.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Going down. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.